Start.
Start. Huh? Okay. Good afternoon. In this session, we are going to discuss about requirement development methodology. So, subject name is adaptive software engineering. So, this requirement development methodology is a part of CO2. Okay. So, in the software development lifecycle model, requirement is a very important thing. Why? Because without requirements, we can't do anything. Okay. So, we are going to develop a new project. To develop that project, requirements is very important thing, because from the requirements only we are going to develop the design and coding and testing and deploy the project. Because in this session we are going to discuss about how to develop the requirements. Okay, so what are the various requirement development methodologies are there, then how to collect the requirement, then various kind of maybe functional requirement, non-functional requirement, and some other kind of requirements we are going to discuss here. Okay, so now we are going to enter into the subject. So the main aim of this session is to familiarize students with the basic concept of requirements development methodology. So in this session particularly we are going to designated to demonstrate the process of requirements development methodology, list out the differences of functional and non-functional requirements, then describe the stages in documenting the requirements, then what are the learning outcome is also important. After completing this session, the main purpose of this learning outcome is describe the process of gathering the requirements, summarize functional and non-functional requirements. Okay. So these topics we are going to discuss today. First of all, we have to know that what is meant by requirement, then we have to discuss about types of requirements, then functional requirement, non-functional requirement and domain requirements. These functional, non-functional and domain requirements are the various types of requirements. Then we have to discuss about requirements engineering, then we have to discuss about stages of requirements engineering. Okay. So first of all we have to know what is mean by requirements. Okay. So requirements is a basic, very basic things of our project, what our project should do, what are the functionalities of our project. Okay. As per the IEEE standard of software engineering terminology, defines a requirement as a condition or capability needed by a user to solve a problem or achieve an object. To achieve an object, what are the things are important, what are the things are we need to develop the project, that is called as requirements. Then why do we need requirements in software engineering? So requirements specify what features a product should include and how those features should work, how the functionalities will work. Based on the requirements only we will develop the different functionality. This activity takes place when creating a new product as well as when modifying or making changes to an existing product. So if you are seeing this diagram, okay, so in the first diagram representing about how the customer experienced it. Okay, so what customer want, so this complete diagram describing about all the things about the requirements. Okay, so in the first diagram representing about how the customer explained it. In the next diagram, how the project leader understand it. For example, here we are considering two people. As a students, you are the customer, I am the project company. Okay, so you are the customer, right? You are giving your requirements. So whatever you are giving, for that only I have to prepare or I have to create the project, right? So in the first diagram explaining about how the customer explained it, then in the second diagram explaining about how the project leader understand it. Whatever you are saying, so you can, if you are seeing this first diagram and the second diagram, okay, so you can easily understand. Okay, so what customer is saying, what project leader is understanding, because whenever you studying about the requirements, understanding is very important. Here understanding is very important, because if you are not understanding our requirement in the initial step, definitely our project will not come clearly. That's why we have to understand our requirements thoroughly. Without understanding, definitely we can't do anything. Okay, that's why how the customer explained it. In the second diagram explains about how the project leader understood it. Then third diagram representing about how the analyst designed it. Okay, how the analyst designed, whenever they are designing, how the analyst designed it. In the fourth diagram, how the programmer wrote a program. Okay, so in the fifth one, how the business consultant developed it. So each and every step that that scenario is changing. Okay, then in the next sixth diagram, how the project was documented. Next one, what operations installed, then how the customer was built, how it was supported, what the customer reality needed. Okay, so if you are seeing the first diagram and last diagram, okay, first diagram and last diagram, you can easily understand. First diagram describing about the how the customer expecting their project. So how the project team gives like in the like a last diagram. Okay, so that's why here understanding is very very important, because if you are not understanding our project thoroughly, what will happen? Our project will be like this. That's why we have to clearly understand about what our project should do, what my functionality has to do. Okay, what are the functionalities of my project? We have to understand well clear, else some deviation will be there automatically. During the validation testing, customer will not accept our project. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about what are the types of requirements. Okay, so first one is the functional requirement, second one non-functional, third one domain requirements. This is the basic types of requirements. Okay, so I will tell you the basic example for the first. We will discuss about the functional requirement. So functional requirements describing about any requirements which specifies what the system should do. This is very very important. Okay, so non-functional is also very very important. Even we have to give the more weightage to the functional requirements. Okay, so the definition of the functional requirements is any requirements which specifies what the system should do, what my functionality has to do. For example, you are the developer, you are developing the Gmail or Gmail login page. What are the functionalities of the Gmail login page? When you are typing your username and password, okay, when you are typing your username and password, when that username password is correct, when you are clicking the submit button, your page goes to the next page. That means inbox page. That is one of the function. This is the example for the functional requirement. Like that we can say lot of example for the functional requirements. Okay, a functional requirements will describe a particular behavior of function of the system when certain conditions are met. Okay, example, send email when a new customer sign up. So already we have seen some other example. Then some of the more typical functional requirements include business rules, what our project should do, what our project should follow. Okay, then transaction corrections, adjustments and cancellations, then administrative functions, authentication and authorization levels, audit tracking, external interfaces, certification requirements, reporting requirements, historical data, legal or regularity requirements. These all are the some other example of the functional requirements. Okay, then non-functional. Okay, so same example we will see. We are developing the Gmail login page, not a complete Gmail. We are developing the Gmail. For functional requirement, we have discussed about maybe functions of the submit. When the button is clicking submit button, that page moves to the next page. This is an example for functional testing. Then what is meant by non-functional? What is meant by non-functional? Non-functional requirements are basically the quality constraint that the system must satisfy according to the project contract. Okay, the priority or extent to which these factors are implemented varies from one project to another. they basically deal with